Hey guys, Cameron here. This week's NAIDOC week, which in Australia is a week for celebration of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. So what I thought I would do was, it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, is cook some food with a focus on 100% native ingredients to the area in which I live, which is in Rockhampton in central Queensland. So I've spoken to a couple of people from the Durrumbul tribe and I've done a lot of research and I've found ingredients that are local to here and that can be used. I spent the morning foraging and I found a few things. So I've got the pandanus fruit here. I'm going to use that. I've got some coconuts. I've got some other stuff in this that I've already ground up, which is macadamia leaf and saltbush. This is all just native local ingredients, and I'm going to cook a dish for you that I think will be a combination of both modern Australian food culture and hopefully pay homage to the thousands of years prior and the foods that were used in Australia. I think that food is the one thing that can bring everyone together, because there's nothing that everyone loves more than having a feed. So what I'm going to start with today is I'm going to do a whole cod, and it's going to be baked in melaleuca bark that with a coconut and pandanus stuffing with finger limes. And I was looking to do some chips. Obviously fish and chips was sort of the theme with a native focus. I tried my best to track down some native yams, daisy yams as they're called, and I was unable to do that. So what I've done is I've got some baby carrots. They're similar, they're both a root vegetable, they're similar in texture, similar in taste. If anyone knows where you can get daisy yams, leave a comment below and I would be more than happy to track them down, pay for postage. All right guys, so first thing that we're gonna do is I've got a bowl of water here. And this is just cold water. And then I've got my melaleuca bark, which I am just going to soak in the water. Now, we're wrapping the fish in the melaleuca, so obviously if it's not wet, then it's gonna catch fire. Wouldn't be the first time that I've caused a fire in a kitchen, and probably will not be the last. So, today is not the day though. So melaleuca trees were named tea trees when European settlers came to Australia. And I believe they were named that, from what I've read, due to the fact that they were used in water, boiled, and they were the Aboriginal people used them for medicinal purposes, colds, flus and things like that. And they're also used for cooking, and they get a great flavour going through. While I've got all that bark in there, I'm just going to put that off to the side. I just want that to soak as much water as possible, because I don't want that to dry out, start to smoke and give it a bad flavour. Next, I've got the pandanus fruit. This one here is a whole one. You can see I've already started on this one just to make it easier. They're really tough to get into, and the only way to get into them is with a hammer. So what you'll do is you need to hit it, and you need to get one of the keys out. So as you can see, it's really tough, and I'm not going to sit here and beat around the bush and do that. I've got this one I've started earlier. Once you get one key out, they just start to pop out really easily. And there goes all the grounder. So the pandanus, it's actually off a pine, and the fruit, it's similar to that of a coconut, but it's got a strange flavour. The green bit's really hard, it's rock hard. The white bit's softer, and it's got like a sweet honey nectar sort of sugarcane flavour to it. So we're going to use that today and just try and get some sweetness going through the fish. I'm going to throw the green parts out. Wipe down the mess that I've made, And then I'm going to put these to the side. And next up, coconut. Again, to save time, I've dehusked one already because you don't want to see me struggling for 10 minutes trying to do that. Now, I'm going to make a mess of this, so I'm going to try and crack this in the least damaging way possible. Oh, there we go. So I really want to keep that coconut milk in there. That's why I'm doing this over a bowl. Oh Lord. And there we go. Coconut milk to the side again. Clean down the mess I've made again. And then I'm just going to take this out. So again, like the pandanus, I'm just going to chop this up into chunks. Oh, another piece there. Going to chuck this in my blender. Clean down. Clean chef's always a good chef. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the coconut milk in here. So I'm just going to blend this. I'm going to try and make a nice paste out of this. I'm going to slowly add some more coconut milk to this until I get the consistency that I'm looking for. These here are finger limes. They're another native. They're like a citrus tree. It's really cool. It's got a really cool flavor to it. And if you see, you can squeeze. It comes out like a caviar. So this is like a thing. You'll see there, they're like little balls, and it's like a finger lime. I call it finger lime caviar. It's really citrusy, really fresh, and it's going to be awesome. And we're just going to chuck these in here with our coconut and pandanus mix, and this is going to make the stuffing for our fish. Man, I'm dropping things today. I drank way too much coffee. I'm trying not to move my hands too much and just trying to stay still. Again, just going to mix that, get the finger lime through there. So what I've got left here is I've got this like pasty mix of finger limes, pandanus and coconut, and I'm going to stuff that into the fish, but first I'm going to get the fish prepared so that's ready to go. Now the fish that I'm working with today is a cod. So the estuary cod, it's a really common fish. It's available in all coastal and river areas of Australia, and I just thought it'd be a great fish to work with. It's got a beautiful flesh and really good when baked whole. First thing I'm going to do is just put a couple of slits in the skin on both sides. And then I'm just going to season it, salt this down really well. So the only thing that's been done to this fish is that it has been gutted, and then that is where we're going to put this coconut and pandanus and finger lime mixture. And what this does, like stuffing anything, it allows the heat to penetrate slowly. So when you've got a large cavity like in a chicken, the whole purpose of the stuffing is to allow the heat to penetrate slowly, not have the heat coming from the outside and from a large cavity inside. So there we go with that. Next up here, we've got a combination. It is saltbush, macadamia nuts and lemon wattle. These are all native Australian plants and nuts. And we're just going to coat this in that generously. So there we've got it. We've got the fish. It's prepared. It's ready to go. You can see we've got the stuffing in there that's going to fill it. We've got a nice coating on here. And now we're going to get ready to put it in the oven and see how it comes out. Now here we are with the return of the Melaleuca bark. So So this stuff's just been soaking in water, absorbing as much of it as it possibly can, just again because I don't want it to dry out, start to smoke and go bad. So I'm just going to layer this all over the bottom of my tray, put the fish on, and then I'm going to cover it over again. Just want to make like a nice blanket. This is just going to go into the oven now at 160 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour. Just make sure you check it regularly just to see how it's going and make sure it's cooked all the way through. You don't want to overcook it and you just want it to be cooked right. This has been a really fun thing to do and I've really enjoyed it. And I think you get a different connection with your food when you actually get to go and forage for it and find it like I've done with this, because I found all this in my backyard as such in the streets and town I live in. I'm just going to throw this in the oven now. I'm going to come back and I'm going to start getting the carrot chips ready. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare my carrot chips. Like as I said earlier, it was near on impossible to track down native yams, so I've just run with these guys just because it's probably the closest alternative. You'll probably notice I'm not the most confident with this. I'm learning on the go and I'm really enjoying myself learning about all these different things. I've got the cameraman over here. He's secretly laughing at me because he knows more about this than me. He should be over here with me and telling you how to do it. So all I'm going to do with these is just take the tops off, put them to the side because they make an absolutely awesome garnish, and just peel them. So one thing I remember, like going through school, we were never really taught any of this, and one of the reasons I actually wanted to do this is because I wanted to share, or not share because I wanted to learn about this myself. And it's sort of something that we don't talk about, is like the native food. We're always just, like everyone, when you start cooking, you pushed Italian, Asian, American with the ribs, and there's no actual real focus on what Australian food is. And if you ask a lot of people to define Australian food, they'll talk about things like meat pies and palmies and crumb steak. And for me, I just want to get a better understanding of what Australian food actually means and what was used here for 50, 60,000 years and how it tastes, obviously. That's the bang on honest truth. Like, I'm just a dude who likes to cook lots of different sorts of food, and I feel like this is one of the final frontiers that I've got to get through, because I think in 5 years this is going to be massive. Like, if you watch in 5 years time, native Australian food is going to be absolutely massive, because like you can starting to read online, there's a lot of places actually starting to stock sort of native foods. It's not a lot of farmers growing the local native ingredients. You'll find that in WA they're starting to grow it and it's actually starting to take off. But here in Queensland we're really not that lucky. If you keep watching, on Friday we're going to be dropping another video, and that video is going to be focusing again on native ingredients, and we'll be doing pulled kangaroo burgers on damper rolls. So I've got my carrots here, I've got a bit of oil on them. Again, as with everything, I'm just going to season it and throw these in the oven and just try and get some nice colour, some nice crispy roasted carrots for the carrot chips. Alright guys, so it's been 45 minutes. I've just pulled the fish out of the oven now. I'm going to have a look at it and see how it is and check that it's cooked. So you can really smell the flavours coming through there, and just what you want to do is get a knife, put it in, check to make sure it's cooked all the way through, which it is, and now we're going to serve it. Alright guys, so now we're just going to serve this here. As this is a whole fish, we're going to serve it as like a sharing dish, something you can sit down with friends and enjoy. I'm just going to lift this up here. Peel the top layer of the bark off. I'm just going to tidy this up now. Oh, man. Bark is very messy to cook with, so I'm learning today. I've got my fish, I've got my chips here, which I've substituted with the carrots because, again, unable to get the native Australian yams. And what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to pull them out. And then last but not least, I'm going to season them with some dehydrated bush tomatoes and salt. Clean this up and that'll be all ready to go. Alright guys, so this is how I'm serving this today. We've got the cod here that's stuffed with pandanus and coconut with a bush dukkha crust on it, and it's just something that everyone can share together. Just dig in and just sit around and enjoy. All you need to do is scrape back that skin, and as you can see, we've got like beautiful, soft, perfectly cooked fish here. And that tastes absolutely amazing. Going to put some finger lime with that. There we have it. Fish and chips made using all native ingredients.